Chapter 6 of The Wondersmith and His Son, A Tale from the Golden Childhood of the World. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Wondersmith and His Son, A Tale from the Golden Childhood of the World, by Ella Young. How the Gubbaun Saor welcomed home his daughter. Many a time the Gubbaun looked forth to see was the hound coming. He was tired of looking forth. He flung himself on the bench he had carved by the hearthstone. "I wish I never had a son," he said. "I wish I were a young boy, wandering idly, or lying in a wood of larches, with the wind stirring the tops of them. There is joy in the slanting stoop of the sea-hawk, but a man builds weariness for himself." He went to the door and looked forth. The wood of the ridge stood blackly against the dawn. There was a great stillness. The earth seemed to listen. Suddenly the wood was full of singing voices. A brightness moved in it low down, brightness that grew and neared, milk-white. The hound, Felinus, at last! He broke glittering from the wood and came with great leaps to the Gubbaun. The Gubbaun put his 2 hands about the head of the hound. "Treasure!" he cried. "Swift-footed jewel, bringer of good tidings, it is time now to pile up the fires of welcome. It is time now to set my house in order. 100,000 welcomes!" The hound lay down by the doorstone. The Gubbaun strewed green-scented boughs on his threshold, plumes of the larch, branches of ash and quicken, thorn and blossom he strewed, and marsh-mint, and frockin, and odorous red pine. He wondered if it was for Anya, or for a stranger. The Gubbaun piled up a fire of welcome. Beneath it he put 9 sacred stones taken from the cavern of the Dragon of the Winds. He laid hazelwood on the pile for wisdom, and oak for enduring prosperity, and blackthorn boughs to win favor of the stars. Quicken wood he had, and ancient yew, and silver-branched holly. Ash he had, too, on the pile, and thorn, and wood of the apple-tree. These things of worth he had on the pile. With incantations and ceremonies he built it, and with rites such as druids use in the hill fires that welcome the spring and the coming of the gods of Dana. The Gubbaun set out the riches of his house, the beaten metals, the wild beast skins, the broidered work. "If it is Anya," thought he, "and her mind matches my own, she will care more for wide skyey places than for any roof-tree shaped by a tool." He thought of a wide stone-scattered plain, of great wings in the night, and his eyes changed color. The Gubbaun had every color in his eyes. They were gray at times, like the twilight, green like the winter dawn, amber like bog water in sunlight. The Gubbaun considered the riches of his house. He looked at the walls he had built, the secret contrivances, the strange, cunning engines he had fashioned. "I was bought," he said to himself, "with a handful of tools. Yet to make, and break, and remake, that is the strong-handed choice." Outside, joyously, rose the baying of the hound. They were coming. The Gubbaun set fire a-leap in the piled-up wood and ran to meet them. Flames licked out, flames that were azure, and orange, and sapphire, and blinding white. They lifted themselves like crowned serpents. They hissed, they danced, they leaped into the air, they spread themselves. They blossomed, they found voice, they sang. "Have you looked on a fire hotter or stronger than this?" asked the Gubbaun of the girl. She looked on the flame. She said, "The wind from the south has more warmth and more strength than all the ceremonial fires in Erin." And as she said it, her eyes that were blue like hyacinths in spring turned gray like lake water in shadow. "It is Anya," thought the Gubbaun. "She has the wisdom of the hills. I wonder, has she the wisdom of the hearth?" He took her by the hand. He showed her his finest buildings, his engines, his secret contrivances.
"What is your word on these?"
he asked. "You need no word," said the girl, "and well you know it. When the full tide is full, it is full, to-day and to-morrow no less. Tear stone from stone of these walls in the hope to surpass them. You can do no more than raise them again, fitting each block to its fellow. Trust your own wit on your work, for it's a pity of him that trusts a woman."
"You are Anya!"
cried the Gubbaun. "You are Anya, the treasure I lost in my youth. You were a dream in my mind when every precious stone was my covering. 100,000 welcomes, Anya. This house is yours, and all its riches yours. The hearth flame yours, the roof tree yours." "The reddest sunrise," said Anya, "is the soonest quenched. You will bid me go from this house one day without looking backwards to it. All I ask against that day is your oath to let me carry my choice of 3 armloads of treasure out of this house."
"There is no day in all the days of the year that you will get a hard word from me, Anya. For now my tree of life is the holly. No wind of misfortune can blow the leaves from it."
"Bind your oath on my asking," said Anya.
Then said the Gubbaun, "On the strong sun I bind my oath to Anya. If I deny 3 treasure loads to her, may the strong sun avenge her. On the wise moon I bind my oath to Anya. If I rue my oath, let the wise moon give judgment. On the kind earth I bind my oath to Anya. On the stones of the field, on running water, on growing grass, let the tusked boar avenge it, let the horned stag avenge it, let the piast of the waters avenge it. On the strong sun I bind my oath."
"It is enough, my treasure and my jewel of wisdom," said Anya. So Anya, daughter of the Gubbaun Saor, came home. End of Chapter 6. Read by Lynette Calkins, Monument, Colorado.